Hello everyone, so in this video I want to do a channel update. So some things have changed and I want to just clear some things up. So last video I did, I got this Insight in here and jacked up and I was going to start tearing it apart. So I did tear apart all of the hybrid stuff out of it. The battery pack, the inverter, all that stuff I tore out. And it's all sitting over here. So I'm gonna part this stuff out, sell it on eBay, do whatever I can. I started to tear the engine out and then I had kind of a revelation that I wanted to, had an idea to run this just off the engine and not any of the hybrid battery pack or anything. So I put the engine kind of back together. I wasn't very far on it, so I put it back together and then I realized that you actually need the inverter and stuff to actually get this engine to run, and you need the circuit board off of the battery pack for it to run, because this doesn't have an alternator on the engine itself. It uses the DC to DC inverter to charge the 12-volt battery. So pretty much that's not going to happen. The big change to the channel, and possibly where I'm going to lose subscribers, is I sold the 2018 Accord. There's a Hi, buddy. Go get it. So there's a couple of reasons why I got rid of the car. I love driving it. It was a fantastic car to drive, fun to drive. Tons of power. Manual transmission was the best thing, but it wasn't great for our family situation. We really needed a vehicle that could seat at least 7 people, and we didn't have one of those. We had the CRV, but it's only 5 passenger. I had an older 4Runner that I used to tow pretty much everything, all the car projects and stuff that I've gotten, but it had 224,000 or 228,000 miles on it. Didn't have any problems or anything, but I just wanted something more reliable because I was driving pretty long distances to get cars. Like this one was in southern Minnesota. So, I mean, I have to drive a little bit of a distance. It was like 4 hours or something to get that one way. So I just wanted something more reliable that if I break down far away, I'm not gonna have to like call somebody and have them come get me or something. So needed something that can pull at least 5,000 pounds. I want something reliable that I'm not gonna have problems with. My Accord, one of the very first videos I did on my Accord was a video of a steering issue that it had, where the steering wheel would kind of stick right in the middle. And it ended up being the power steering rack. The electric motor in it went bad, so under warranty I got the power steering rack replaced. That was at 17,000 miles that happened, which it started doing it around 14,000 miles. And it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. Well, it was just at about 29,000 miles on it and it started doing it again. So I took it to the dealership, and sure enough, my dealership actually, they replaced the rack before, but they never actually felt the issue. And my service manager in another customer's car, they were driving it for some other reason, and he felt the problem with it. So they ended up changing that steering rack in their car, so now they actually knew what it was. So I went in there and told him that this is starting to happen again, and he didn't seem very surprised by it. So they were gonna get a hold of the Honda themselves and try to figure out what to do. But I just decided that this is the second steering rack in 2 years of ownership that I've had it. And I don't want to have to replace the steering rack every year that I own the car, because I don't think they've figured out what the problem is. The steering rack that they replaced it with was a different part number, but it still went bad. So I don't think they know what the problem is. My car is not the only one. There's at least 2 or 3 other cars I know of that had the same problem. And it doesn't seem to be a certain model or anything like that. Like all the trim levels have the same problem. So before I even had it fixed, I just decided that I was going to trade it. And there's one vehicle that I've been looking at for a long time, and it's probably not going to be too big of a surprise because of what I had before, but I traded it for a 2020 Toyota 4Runner Limited. And the reason for this is because I wanted the Limited for only one real reason, and that's because you can get it with the full-time four-wheel drive. None of the other trims have that, and that was a big one for me. My old one had a full-time four-wheel drive system, and it worked perfect. You can drive it on hard pavement, you can drive it on snow and dirt, like you can drive it on any surface, and it's always in four-wheel drive. It doesn't like jerk when you go around corners or anything like that. So that was a really big thing that I wanted, and this is the only model that you can get it in. A lot of people say that the full-time four-wheel drive is only for women and people that aren't like, you know, like I don't understand that, because it just makes way more sense. You can still lock the four-wheel drive in to a part-time four-wheel drive, and it'll be just like any other 4Runner at that point. So I don't understand why they're saying that, but whatever. The only thing the Limited doesn't have is like the crawl control and the terrain management, but from what I found going down in my property and all the snow and everything, the stability control kicks in as soon as you lose traction, and it locks up the wheel that's spinning and sends the power to the rest of the wheels. So I don't even ever lock it into part-time four-wheel drive, because it doesn't make sense. The system, the computer does it for itself. So this has worked perfect for me, and this is exactly how my old one was, and it worked flawlessly too with a ton of miles on it. So many of you will notice that these wheels are not the factory wheels. Well, they are factory wheels, but they're not the ones that come on the Limited. The Limited comes with a 20-inch wheel, but it's hard. I think they only sell one all-terrain tire for the size that it comes in. So I opted to get these optional TRD. I think this is the matte gray color TRD wheel. I really like this. These are 17 inches, and I really think it makes it look good. They had a matte black, but I don't really like the black because it blends too much into the tire, and I want a little bit of contrast there. So that's the setup. I got Cooper Discoverer AT3s on there, and those are the same exact tires that I had on my other 4Runner, and I loved them. Worked out perfect. It's the Blizzard White Pearl, which is an expensive color. It's $500 option to get this white, because it must just have a lot of pearl in it, and that's what makes them charge so much. I did put these yellow vinyls on the fog lights, just like I did my Accord, because I really like how that looks. That's really all the modifications I've made. I don't plan on modifying this too much. It's not like my Accord where I'm out for performance and all this stuff. I want this to be reliable. I'm probably gonna leave it. I'm not gonna do anything with suspension or anything crazy like that. One thing that I did find for this that's pretty hard to find in the US is this cargo mat. This has the third row seat, obviously, because I wanted more passenger room, but it's hard to find a mat in here that folds up with these seats. So this one, it folds up just like that, and you can still have the cargo mat down over here. The Toyota one that came with it, which I told them I didn't want, and they took off the price and everything, but it's the whole thing. So you either have to take the whole thing out every time you put the rear seat up, or you have to like just bunch it up behind it and then block the window and everything. So that didn't make any sense to me at all. So this is a factory Toyota mat, but you can only buy them in Canada. So I went online and found a dealership in Canada that would sell this to me and ship it here. It took about 2 weeks to get here, which makes sense, gotta go through customs or something. But it was about $250 US to buy this and ship it here. I think it was $150 for the mat itself, and then it was 90 some dollars for shipping. So I mean, it's expensive for a cargo mat, but I wanted this one specifically. So I like it because it has Toyota on there. It fits perfect. There are little gaps in here, but it's just Velcroed on too. So all this just is Velcroed. It comes with these little pads that Velcro really tight to the carpet that's in here. So you can take them out and vacuum underneath it easily. So that's that. Keep my straps in here because my wife's car got a mouse in it and it's really annoying. So I just leave one in here all the time now. So yeah, that's the exterior. And then the interior, I did the rosewood leather. I really like the kind of brownish, orangish color in here. It has the new infotainment center in it for the 2020s, which I really enjoy. It's honestly it's the same size as the one in my Accord, and this one actually has built-in navigation and stuff. Here's the 4x4 features. It has A-Track. You have to be in 4 low to do any of this stuff here though. The A-Track and the downhill assist control. So yeah, I don't ever use 4 low, but you can. It's on this dial here. See, high 4 full time, 4 low, or high 4 lock, and then low 4 lock. So that's the part-time 4-wheel drive there, and then this is full time. That's really all that is. So hopefully you won't unsubscribe when you find out the Accord's not here anymore. I will miss that car, but for my fun car now, I have the Insight, which we will get done. It's probably not going to happen this year, and that's why I'm making this video. I'm going to change off of working on the Insight, and we're going to start working on the Falcon again. So most of you probably haven't seen my videos on the Falcon because they didn't get hardly any views, but I built a 1962 Ford Falcon with a Toyota V8 engine in it. And it was a lot of work. I have a ton of videos on my channel about building it, but there's a lot of things I didn't finish on that car that I want to do now. A lot of safety things, like it doesn't have seat belts in it because back then they just didn't come with seat belts. I definitely need to get that in place because I want to take my family for a drive in it and stuff. So that's really the update that we have right now. So my next videos will probably be working on the Falcon. Today I'm gonna switch them around. I'm gonna get the Insight out of the garage and I'm gonna put the Falcon in the garage where the Insight's at right now, I think. Maybe. I'm not 100% sure because winter time I want it inside because it's cold. Today it happens to be 50 degrees, so it's crazy 50 degrees in January, but whatever. I want to put that in there. I haven't started it up in a while. I hope the battery's not dead. The battery was new, so we'll have to see about that. But yeah, that's just the update on the channel. Hopefully you won't leave me because I don't have the Accord anymore. I love getting all the comments on the videos I've had, especially about the amp wiring and stuff. A lot of people are questioning that. That little RCA converter, a lot of people didn't understand how it works, and I tried to explain it in the comments, so just kind of go look at that. But it's pretty simple. I bought it on Amazon. I actually took all that back out of the car, so I still have it. I'm probably going to use it in the Insight. I might put the sub in the Insight. I don't really know yet, but I don't really need it in there, so I don't know what I'm going to do with it. But I do have that little converter that everyone seems to wonder about, especially the remote wire, because the remote wire, a lot of people don't understand how it works or something, but it just runs straight to the amp and gives it power. It works really good. But I guess that's all. Kind of rambling, so that's all for this video. Thank you for watching. Please come back for the Falcon, and we'll see you next time. So just in case you haven't seen the Falcon before, this is it. 4-door Falcon. This is the engine I put in. So you can see it says Lexus, but Toyota. It's a Toyota 1UZ V8. It's a lot of work to get that in there. I mean, it fits really good, but lots of different things were involved in making this. Definitely not close to being done yet. It's close. It's drivable. I've driven it quite a ways. But let's get in it and see if it'll fire up. Find the key here. 5-speed manual. Transmission's out of late 80s Toyota Supra. The engine is out of 1990 LS 400. So let's see. You ready, buddy?
Yeah.
No? Okay. Good old Lexus. Got our oil pressure. Yep. Yeah, this gauge isn't hooked up, but these two are. The important ones. Sound good, buddy?
Yeah.
Yeah. You ready to hear it? No? Oh. Well, that's it. See you next time.